And we have so much to cover in this next segment. A new Truth Social post from President Trump, who he's praising and why it matters, why some American cities could soon see more troops on their streets. And also there's a summit going on right now with some of the world's top leaders. Joining us to discuss is Washington insider Armstrong Williams. And Armstrong, I want to get to this Truth Social post that the president, I believe, posted within the last maybe 24 hours or so, maybe a little bit over 24 hours, this right here, saying he just watched Hillary Fordwich on the Armstrong Williams Show. That's your show. She was fantastic, really gets it. Thank you to Hillary and Armstrong for a great interview on America and strength. I got a chance to watch a portion of this show, and you cover so many issues, immigration, trade, and I see the president picked up on that.
3 things he cares about. He cares about his economy, because if it collapses, that makes him look bad. He cares about a diplomatic solution where he doesn't look like a loser. Which man would raise a hand and say, make me look like a loser? And he doesn't want a military defeat, which makes him look like a loser. No man raises their hand and says, I want to look like a loser. Those are the 3 things that he wants. The question is, how do you give him those 3 things without giving up all of Ukraine?
Now, that one soundbite was dealing with Russia, but first I just want to get your take about when you saw this post, because I know you work hard on your show, your thoughts when you first initially saw the Truth Social post.
Well, it's such an honor to be name-checked by the President of the United States, that he watch our broadcasts, and given the fact that he doesn't always praise the media and lost faith in media. You know, fairness and balance is very important to our broadcasts, just like the national news desk. So it was very honorific for me. I think Hillary really gave some insights as to why things have slowed down with the peace talks and why we are not even closer to having an agreement as of yet. And I'm sure the president, honing in on that, watching the show, realized that she was spot on in terms of her insights about what's going on between this administration and Putin.
And you talk about today's a big day. We have this deadline that is today. Where do you think the next steps will be? What do you think will happen the future here? You know,
Angelo, it's a guessing game, but obviously the president strengthened his personal relationship with Putin, and I do think they've established something. But in terms of, and just look, Angelo, Putin is still bombing and blistering Ukraine, and Ukraine is not going after their oil reserves. And so this conflict has escalated. Where it ends up and how Trump navigates this to bring about a peaceful solution, we've got to see his next Houdini, because it will take a move of Houdini to resolve this issue.
You got a good point with that one. Let me tell you, let's talk about conflict, what's going on in American streets, and what we're seeing with the Trump administration putting these federalized troops on the ground. We have a number of cities could be next, New York possibly, but we're looking at Chicago that could be next. You have the mayor and the governor already kind of pushing back against this. It's a different situation with D.C., just in terms of the laws and all that. What do you think in terms of seeing troops on the ground in Chicago?
I think what matters here is what Mayor Bowser has said. 87% reduction in car theft and carjacking, a 47% reduction in crime. This is not a GOP mayor. This is a very Democratic mayor, and who's progressive in her own way. But for her to acknowledge Trump puts people like the mayor of Chicago, the mayor of Baltimore, other major cities on the spot. And how do you follow her model to work with this president to reduce crime? How do you make these resources work? I think that is the issue, because even the governor of Maryland, in an interview yesterday on Fox 45, praised Bowser, but I think Bowser has shown the formula of working with this president. And remember, Angela, there was a lot of friction, but through that friction, they worked out a way so she does not feel as though that she's losing her power and authority, and the president gets what he wants, and the citizens, which is the most important part, win by the reduction in crime across the board.
And I know the mayor also mentioned, I think, one point about what happens when the troops leave. Because you're right, crime is going down. The numbers are telling us crime is going down. But if you look at long-term solutions, I mean, they're only here for a short period of time. What comes next? Because that's how you saw it.
I think, listen, Rudy Giuliani gave us the model of how to reduce crime. I don't think it's rocket scientists. I think if they really want to reduce this crime, with federal support, they've got more troops and more resources. I think now they can sustain this even better, because you don't feel the National Guard. I mean, people are uneasy with that, but I do believe I give people credit. They've got the genius to make this work for citizens of this city, and also if they want to create this model across the country.
Well, what do you think finally just about what's happening right now? You have all these world leaders, Russia, China, they're at the summit, the SCO summit, where President Xi actually criticized bullying behavior and urged opposition to what he called the Cold War mentality, while announcing plans to establish an SCO development bank and pledging something like $1.4 billion. What message is he sending to the U.S.?
Angela, there's a deeper message.
Okay.
This Shanghai organization, China's president wants to be the new global peacemaker. China's president wants to find a solution to bring about an end to the Ukraine-Russian conflict. He needs to change his image and his reputation. He needs to challenge Trump on the world stage as being the only global leader. Now that he has Putin, he has Modi, they don't want conflict. He wants to change the image of China. They really, behind closed doors, are trying to work with Putin to see if they can find a solution to end this conflict so China takes the credit and not the president of the United States.
All right. Thank you so much, Armstrong Williams. I'm surprised you're not at the U.S. Open. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you, Angela.